Well, the Rogue Bladeworks situation has been resolved um, to what I would consider an overall neutral experience. To fast forward to the end, because I know everybody won't listen to every word, I bought these scales. They didn't ship when they were supposed to. I inquired about it, got very rude customer service. There were several more delays. I was told that there were going to be dates the knife shipped. At least 2 or 3 more times. The knife did not ship then. Once I received my knife, I received some pretty impolite comments on Instagram from whoever was responding on behalf of the Rogue Bladeworks Instagram page. At the end of the day, the shop manager the shop manager asked me to call him. I called the shop manager. He told me keep the scales and he gave me a full refund. Now, that's the short version of it, the very short version for people that are only going to watch the first little bit. What happened, to back all the way up, is I bought this knife here, Benchmade Bugout, factory Bugout. Never have done anything to this knife but put a few drops of oil on it. Loved the knife so much that I wanted to buy another one because I saw these scales and I said, man, that would make a nice knife to carry to work. Have one to carry on the weekend or when I'm off of work and use as a beater knife, and have one that's dressed up and classy to be able to use while I'm at work. Very thin, sleek knife, very attractive looking package. Just overall very nice thing to have at work. So I ended up placing an order for the Benchmade Bugout, which was lucky because these were sold out shortly afterwards. Here recently they got a restock. Everybody got a restock, it seemed like, and they're gone again. So it is, and that's kind of strange to me. It's a whole different topic, but it's interesting to me how much the knife community is split over this knife. Whenever you bring it up or whenever you talk about it, how it seems like people either hate it or they love it. But anytime Benchmade releases some, they just disappear. You never see them on the secondary, or you rarely see them on the secondary market. But you have these two huge camps of people. Anyhow, bought this knife after falling in love with this one. I got it pretty quickly. I ordered the scales. The website said that just scales would take 3 to 10 days to ship. However, it said that they had 7 in stock at the time I placed the order. So I didn't think anything of it until maybe a week had passed. I checked it, read all the information, saw down in the details, exactly what was going on, what I just explained to you, 3 to 10 days, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. So I looked up to find out exactly when they should ship, which Etsy will tell you if you've never ordered through Etsy. That was on December 19th. So I sent an email just saying I was checking on my order and everything, and on the 19th of December, and I got a response on the 20th that said that they had cut the no handle design, which if you look here, their scales have milling on the inside of the handle. Some of them do. I wanted the ones that were just flat. So they said they cut the no handle design and they would ship on the 20th or on the 21st. That was the message that I received. So, I replied back saying, basically, it had been the 10 days, which is the maximum of the window. Just from a customer standpoint, you might want to consider how things are structured, because from a customer standpoint, if the window's 3 to 10 days, and when I bought these, the website was saying they were in stock, that's conflicting information to begin with. And the second thing is, if it's 3 to 10 days and you can't make the 10 days, that's not going to please all of your customers. Now, some guys will say, "Oh, what's the big deal if it takes a month? It's something you don't need. You'll get it when you get it." That's based on personal opinion. Me personally, I like to do business with people that state what they're going to do and they hold up to what they're going to do. I also prefer people in life that are like that. I just prefer people that are straightforward. Whatever they tell you they're going to do, they do that. So that's just a pet peeve of mine. So I received a reply back, and there was lots of things about production delays because of bad materials and equipment outages, and they're not necessarily being an exact window and everything. But it wasn't a very good response. And what really kind of set the tone of the message was at the very end. This is exactly what was written. And as a matter of fact, I'll see if it'll focus. It says right here, I appreciate the feedback on the matter. I had to shut down a machine to come answer this for you. So I'm gonna get back to it so I can get some people's products out the door. Thanks, with an exclamation mark. I know I've heard from people on my Instagram page, you can't read tone of a letter. You can't read the intent of a letter or text or written communication. However, the fact that you're going to tell your customer you had to step away and interrupt your day to answer a question of theirs, a paying customer, I don't think I need to read too far into that. I think that's pretty clear cut. So basically, I replied back that, I had waited the allotted amount of time, so on and so forth, and that, I didn't appreciate what was said. Following that, basically the person that replied says that, clearly I'm not pleased. Why don't they just cancel my order and refund my order? And this is all on the 20th, these back and forth replies. And I told the guy, I've waited the maximum amount of time. If you're telling me they're going to ship my order out, just go ahead, get back on the machine. Like you said, finish up what you're doing, get my order out. So didn't hear back from anyone. And on the 26th, I checked back because I figured, I'd give them a while. I know we had the holidays and everything. I didn't expect a response on the 26th, but on the 27th, I got a response that they went out in the mail drop at the end of the day. So I replied on the 27th, thank you, sir. On the 28th, I sent an email back because I checked. They said that my Etsy account would update with the tracking number. I did not have a tracking number. So on the 29th, so back up and follow me, he told me on the 26th that the order would ship out. So, and actually, I'll let you guys see this. I'm checking on the status of my order. You said it would ship on the 19th or the 20th. It's the 26th. So on the 27th, they went out yesterday, mail drop at the end of the day, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, sir, on the 27th. On the 28th, there's been no update. Then on the 29th, you see here, he says, we did an update of a bunch of tracking numbers late last night, blah, 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 blah. So basically, you told me up here on the 26th, you told me that my order was gonna go out. It says they went out yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, on the 27th. But then when I finally have to inquire even more, finally I find out on the 29th, that's when the orders actually went out. So again, you see here, there was a 3 to 10 day window. He told me they would ship on the 20th or the 19th or the 20th. And then we turn around and I don't get an update and I don't hear anything and they don't end up shipping out until the 29th. So that was all of that part. I was not pleased. I let them know. I waited on my order to arrive, which it arrived, I believe, on the 5th. I believe it arrived on the 5th of January. So when they arrived, I did a video, all the YouTube stuff you guys saw here, and they've actually deleted it, but I ended up receiving, or they ended up posting a Instagram video talking about, well, this is how the action of a knife looks when you install the scales properly. And that was a direct reply to my video, my YouTube video, and my subsequent Instagram video. So once I put the Instagram video up, I didn't appreciate the video they put up basically as a jab at my install. Well, some more time went by and I didn't really hear much of anything, and I'm looking here to make sure I got the dates right. And then this says 3 days ago. So that would have been Monday, I think, Monday or Tuesday. This is what pops up on my page. Wow, you really have a way of putting a spin on things. I really don't understand people who go out of their way to make others look bad, only to blah, blah, blah. You can read the rest. And then you can see my response down here. where and you can read the comments. I haven't deleted any of these posts off my Instagram page, which that's my Instagram handle. You can see the comments where many people have said that they're allegedly, now I don't know this to be fact, so I'm only telling you what I've heard in the comments in my Instagram on the Benchmade forums, that whoever is running that account for Rogue Bladeworks is very disrespectful, arrogant, and tasteless on those forums, and that other people have also had the same incidents where their materials have not shipped out as they were supposed to. I know if you go to the Etsy page and you look at their reviews, there are at least 4 or 5 reviews where people have the same concern as me, and the window was 3 to 10 days. However, things did not ship out for a month. In this process, I noticed that they were slowly but surely. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't mention. When we were going back and forth in the emails, I believe after the email exchange on the 20th, they updated their website, and okay, I don't think it's going to show because they closed down. But basically, they had a comment on there about if you're in a hurry to place an order, make sure you read everything down below. But anyhow, back to the Instagram stuff. So we get to the Instagram thing, and I replied back with, like I said, the reply, and you can see all this on my Instagram page down here. And I just couldn't believe it. I really could not believe that after all the other stuff that happened, they would still have these things, go on. So a couple more messages went back and forth, and then finally this long message popped up here, and I'll just leave it up here, and you guys can pause it and read it if you would like. And down here you can see I make reference to basically the guy told me he would double the amount of money that I paid for the scales and provide me with a refund. Now come to find out, allegedly all of these negative comments on Instagram, not this long post right here, not this here, but everything else that I've shown you was allegedly a machine operator that they recruited to handle some customer service and I guess some shipping duties during the holidays. Because like I said, the shop manager asked me to call him and he told me that he cleaned up all of those things, and he was the one who posted the last long comment about, after reading over what was written, blah, 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 blah. So he, I tell him, no, you guys have offered up the refund. Go ahead and send me the refund, because at that point, I didn't believe that they were going to own up to what they were going to say. And at that point, I felt like with everything else that happened and with that happening, I was sick to my stomach when I looked at the scales. I didn't even want the scales. Not that I'm in love with them now, and I'll get to what my opinion is overall in a minute. But I did not think that they were going to follow through. So it was going to be yet another chance for them to show what their character was. So anyhow, the shop manager, who I later found out was a shop manager, says, "Hey man, shoot me your number. I'll give you my number. Give me a phone call." I call the guy. Like I said, he tells me the story about having the machine operator move up to do some customer service and some shipping. He tells me the guy deleted the Etsy emails back and forth, so he wasn't able to read that. He tells me that he was unaware of the Instagram stuff until some people apparently emailed him saying, "Hey, there's a guy who's got an Instagram page up and he's got some things you may want to check out." And then finally, when he popped over, that's when he was made aware, he became aware of the whole experience. And then he had to backtrack from there and go back and ask the guy and track down the Etsy email exchange and this, that, and the other. And while we're on the phone, he asked me, ultimately the ultimate question is, how do you want it resolved? And like I told him, I want you to tell me how you think it should be resolved, because again, this is your mistake. And I think it's up to you to decide how you think you need to fix it. So he did. He offered me on the phone the full refund. He said, "Keep the scales. I'll give you a full refund." And it was maybe about 20 minutes after that I received these 2 emails here, which you can see. I received a PayPal refund from Rogue Bladeworks, and that was pretty much the conclusion of what happened. Now, I'm sure the question is going to come up, what is your overall opinion? It's become a little bit hazy for me because like I said, I can't quote these things because I don't hang out on the Benchmade forums and I've only made the one purchase. But other people, and you can read it on Etsy, so I know I can at least read those. Those are independent reviews. Say they've had the same exact experience with the delays in shipping, not necessarily rude customer service, but the delays in shipping. Several people have said that on the Benchmade forums in the, I guess the custom section, whoever is responsible for that account on the Benchmade forums, Rogue Bladeworks account on the Benchmade forums, is also very condescending, nasty, rude, and distasteful. So for the shop manager to tell me this was a guy that was moved up one time and the situation happened with me over the holiday, it's kind of hard to explain the other things that have played out with the company. So I'm going to take what the guy said with a grain of salt. I'm not going to necessarily say what he said was true or not true. I'm just going to say the jury's still out. There's a lot of information that would make it seem like then maybe you don't have one bad employee, you have several bad employees if what the guy said is true. The other thing is, I believe after having a very bad experience as I had, and coming out of it, I consider this a neutral transaction. I ended up with the scales. I ended up with my money back. I was out of time, which, you know, time is a perishing resource. So that is an important thing, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm calling it even, neutral. Really no opinion, not good, not bad, neutral. With that being said, I don't want to have to go through emails back and forth for a week or two, then get on Instagram and have someone DM me, then have to get on the phone and call somebody just to get a set of scales and or get the problems with the purchase sorted out. So I don't think that I'll be making another purchase. However, that's my opinion based on my experience, my personal experience. So that's the whole story from beginning to end. And like I said, I'll let you guys form your own opinion on the situation, but that's pretty much how it played out from beginning to end. I appreciate you guys watching, and remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.